Bipolar disorder is a mental illness defined by severe and erratic mood swings ranging from euphoria to despair. This condition develops in ages 18 to 35 and affects 2 to 6 million people in the United States. This condition seriously affects the nervous, endocrine, and immune systems because the brain is the major organ affected. Mentalhealth.net explains the hypothalamus is like the bridge connecting these systems, and when erratic mood swings occur, sporadic hormone releasement occurs, leaving the body confused. Figuring out if someone will have bipolar disorder is not an easy task. One environmental cause is long periods of depression in younger years. For our genetic test, we will perform a SNP chip test. Our lab must first collect a sample of the client's DNA to use. Either a blood sample or cheek swab will work. Once we have this, we make copies of your DNA to perform multiple SNP chip tests. We use PCR technology to amplify and make copies of DNA until we have 1 billion copies. There are approximately 35 known SNPs related to bipolar disorder. These 35 SNPs all generally have relatively low effects or increase of risk factor. Due to having so many SNPs, our lab performs tests with 70 DNA variations. Some examples of SNPs are RS1006737 and RS1375144. The first SNP is located on gene CACNA1C. Someone with the genotype AA has a 1.7 increased chance of developing bipolar disorder. Another gene, DPP10, contains the second SNP associated with this disorder. The genotype CC results in a 1.59 increased chance, and the genotype CT results in a 1.32 increased chance. A protein affected by the first SNP is ANK3BP. This protein contains associated variants that can indicate disease allele heterogeneity. Scientists have concluded that this protein is responsible for an asparagine to serine change in the amino acid sequence. This change in amino acid sequence could lead to an increased chance in the development of bipolar disorder because the gene has multiple functions and the role in the brain is not completely known. Now, some of you may be asking, if the genetic cause of bipolar disorder isn't fully known, why you should trust a test that just tells you if you have an increased chance of developing the disorder. I know it may seem unnecessary, but it gives you and your doctor a chance to talk about how to make a possible diagnosis and some possible preventative options. By knowing if you have a genetic variation, your doctor is able to talk to you if there are any preventative options or where your next step should be. There are limitations to this test. A patient should not assume that just because they don't have this SNP does not mean they do not have a variation in one of the 34 other SNPs related to this disease. Therefore, they should continue to monitor their mental health, and should they feel they have bipolar disorder, seek medical help and counseling. There are certain implications you should be aware of that come with this disorder. Even though it's 2018, many people hold stigmatism against individuals with mental illnesses. People like this can say or do hurtful things to you, causing emotional pain. For this reason, if you are around these people, it's best not to share your results. Another issue you could run into is with insurance companies raising your insurance rates. Insurance companies could raise your insurance rates because studies show that people with bipolar disorder can have higher suicide rates. This can harm you financially. However, there is no need to worry because we ensure complete confidentiality with our tests.